Hi, this is Destiny from Desphixs, and welcome back to another video in the e-commerce series using Django. In this one, we'll get started working with Paystack payments. That is what we'll be doing. Hopefully, we enjoy the video and learn something new. So let's get started. So begin by opening up your code editor, and where we want to actually implement the feature for the Flutterwave payments will be in the checkout page. So I want you to hop over to core, then checkout HTML in the core app template. Okay, and after you've gotten this, let's scroll all the way to the bottom where we have all this code for PayPal and Stripe payments. That is all good. Make sure that your server is running by running Python manage py run server, and then you can open this up on port 8000. There you go. This is what we have, and let's wait for this to actually refresh. Now we can add some things to our carts. Let's say I want to add this and also this. And let me also connect to the internet so that the icons can load up successfully. So right now you can see that, let me refresh this page one more time so that whenever we click on any of the add to cart button, you can actually see the icons come through. There you go. So we have this, and this in the carts right now. And now I could go ahead and open up the cart page. You can see how this number is looking. If you want to format this, all you need to do is hop back to the cart page, cart HTML. Which is this one over here, and let's look for the total. Okay, so this is the total here. All you want to do is just give it a float format of, then you can add in how many decimal places you want this to actually take. Now you can see 162.89. I hope this makes sense. Now you could go ahead, proceed to checkout, but we need to fill up this information. I'll use this extension called fake filler to fill up all the information over here, but you can see it just puts everything as email addresses. So what I will do is just manually type out some things here. Let's say Destiny Franks, email destiny@gmail.com. A mobile, I'll just put anything in there. Address, let me just say 123 Main Street, USA. Okay, and then I will proceed to checkout. So now you can see that we are getting this issue over here that Django contrib all models. This pretty much means that a user needs to be logged in before they can be able to check out. But does that make sense? Do we actually want users to be logged in to be able to check out? How about we need a guest checkouts feature? In that case, let's see. You can see that this error is coming from over here in the views py line 319. So hop over to the core app. Views py 319. You can hit Ctrl G on your keyboard and type out the line that you want to navigate to, and then there you go, see the line. So the issue now is that user over here is calling the request.user, which I don't really want. So what we could do is, instead of just calling a request.user over here, we could say just somewhere here, we could say if request.user.is authenticated. Now there are a couple of ways that you could do this, but I just want to do it this way. Then user should be equal to request.user, else user should be equal to none. Okay, now you could take user and pretty much put it down here. So now if a user is authenticated, we add a user. If a user is not authenticated, we leave the page as none. Okay, so right now if you resubmit this, you can see, okay, it's saying not constraint field for this user ID. That means in the cart order, I think user is compulsory. Can you see? User is compulsory. So in that case, I will actually recommend that we set the user field to set null, and also null should be true. Hopefully, you know that this isn't what we are supposed to be doing in this tutorial, but we encountered some error, and the best thing is to fix them instead of skip them, right? So what we're pretty much doing now is trying to give a guest checkout feature in case a user wants to purchase something without actually logging in. So after you've done this, models set null. Whenever you do this, you must make sure to add null to be true. I think that is the error that we're getting over here. And see, cart order field specifies undeleted null but cannot be null. Hint, set null to be true on the argument field or change the undelete rule. So with that now, if you run your server, you can see that that should work. There you go, that's working. So we made some changes to our model. That means we need to run the make migrations and also the migrate, so that we don't keep having that bug, and migrate. There you go. Now you can run your server again. And now when we get back here and try hit F5 and then enter on your keyboard, now what do you notice? We can now check out a user even if they are not logged in. That's really cool in my opinion. So that first error has now been fixed. Let's hop over to the next thing. I think that this doesn't really look good because this image is way longer, it's beginning to break out from the specified div. So I want you to hop over to the checkout page. Let me close this up. Let me open up the checkout HTML and look for where we're running the for loop for the images, for the items, which is this one over here. I believe this should be it. Now you can see image has width 100%, height 100%. That doesn't make sense. Make height to be 200px, because if you make height to be 100%, it will try to take the exact height that the image has. So with this now, can you see everything is now looking good as expected? And we have our total showing up over here. Our coupon still working as expected. Our pay with Stripe, PayPal. But now we want to include more. And for now, we'll start with pay with Paystack. If you check out this snippets.md over here, I'm going to leave it for you guys. Maybe link in the description. I'll paste it in paste bin, then leave the link for you guys. You will see that I have sourced through Paystack and Flutterwave documentation and actually got the way that we can use to integrate this payments feature. It's actually very simple. All you need to do is firstly import the Paystack inline.js in your checkout, just like we're importing these other ones over here. So you can just paste that down there. And the next thing is to now write this simple script over here. So you could take this script. If you don't want to type it all out, you could take the script and just put it. It's very simple. I will explain what it does. So let me collapse this ones and, pretty much put the script over here. This is what the script does. We create a function called make Paystack payment. Then based on the fact that we have imported this Paystack inline.js, we can now be able to access this object called Paystack pop. Then what we're pretty much doing here is creating a new object called Paystack pop, which means we can now be able to access new transaction and things like, let me see if they have any other one over here. Okay, for now, I think we only have new transaction. So new transaction is pretty much a child in the Paystack pop. Remember, we assigned it to a variable called Paystack. So we can do Paystack.new transaction. And the new transaction takes a couple of parameters. It takes a key, email, and amount. So in case you don't know how to get your key, hop over to paystack.com, sign up a free account, hop over to your settings section, API section, and pretty much grab a test key for yourself. This is my test key, but I will make this to become invalid as soon as the tutorial is done. So you won't be able to use it, okay? If you want to get your own key, then you should hop over to Paystack and sign up a free account. For the email, instead of passing in email like this, I think we will use order.email, right? Just like we'll be doing over here. But to further confirm this, open up the model's core and come over to cart order. See here, we have order email. We also have, I think price is the total, right? I think so. See, total is price. So for the total, take order.price and put it in here. For the total, put it here. Okay. And for the email, do the same thing over here, but change price to email. Okay. And this should remain the same. Now over here, we will log what's the transaction, what the transaction detail are when the payment goes through. And if everything goes through, we want to redirect back to this link. But for now, I want you to just comment this out till we actually start working with redirecting to the success page. All right, so now that we have this, all we need to do next is create a button that will allow us click on pay with Paystack. If you don't want to type all that out, you can see that I already have a button for you over here. Pretty much take this and hop over to checkout, and you can pretty much put it down here. So this one is pay with Stripe. You could just put this above the pay with Stripe if you want. It's up to you how you want to do it or where you want to put it. Okay. So with that out of the way now, if we reload this page, we should now see pay with Paystack. And I also want to give this a margin top of 3. Let me say 3 or 2. Let's see. Okay, that really doesn't look good. Let me say margin top of 4. Let's see how it looks. Okay, yeah, I think that is okay. So pay with Paystack, and if you want, you can still put the same text here: credit or debit card. So pay with Paystack, credit or debit card, and the debit card icon, I want to put it for the pay with Stripe too, so that everything looks, in sync, just like this. So right now, when you hit the pay with Paystack, see, it opens up this Paystack pop, and now you could mock a transaction. So I can mark this and go ahead and pay for it, 1.62 naira. And now if you open up the console, let me open up our console, Ctrl Shift I believe you should be able to see this object here, and you can see message approve, you can see the redirect URL, you can see the reference, you can see the status, you can see the transaction, and all this cool informations. All right, that is really it. That is everything that you actually need to make a payment. The next thing will be to redirect. And also, I will highly recommend that whenever you redirect to the success page, you should use the verification API on Paystack to actually verify transaction based on this reference. It's actually very easy. Let me show you the Paystack verification API. It's the same thing for Flutterwave, it's the same thing for PayPal, it's the same thing for Stripe. All payment gateways out there actually have a verification API, so that you don't rely only on the success message that was given to you over here. This success message means that, yep, the payment went through, is okay, you can credit the customer or mark their order as paid. Well, if you want to further the security and all that, then you could use this verification endpoint here. See, this is the endpoint. Okay, that's not it actually. Just hold on, let me see. This is verification. Okay, this one is to verify KYC. Okay, this is not for verifying payments. So let me see. This is transaction, and this is verified transaction. So this is the one that you need here. This is the URL, and you can see the simple URL here. Whenever you call this URL and append the reference to the URL, remember this is the reference, then it will return back the status again for you. Okay, so this is totally optional if you want to do it, but it's recommended that you actually do this to check the payments. So that is it. We get the success over here. So now to redirect this user, we could check for something. Let's check if transaction.reference, this, not reference, but status. If transaction.status is equal to success, then we want to redirect to this URL here. Okay, which means the payment actually went through. Now we need to see how the views PY looks for this. So open up your views PY payment success, and let's see how it looks. So this is payment completed, right? See, whenever we redirect to this page, then if the order pay status is still false, then we'll mark it as true. Remember, we're only redirecting to that page if transaction.status is success. Just so you know, there are a lot of ways that you could use to do this. You could also use webhook to confirm this transaction, and you could also have a background task that's running to confirm this transaction. And even if the transaction didn't go through, you can actually check for the transaction status every hour or every 30 minutes. It's up to you how you want to do it. There's just a lot of ways. So this is the simplified version for verifying a payment. Okay, so now all we need to do is return back to this URL, to this view here. What is the URL called? Let's check. Okay, you see it's called payments completed, then the order OID. So over here, instead of passing in all this, just pass in the payments completed OID. So this, then this OID over here, you already know what it is. Instead of this, it should be this. So order.OID. Is that what we called it in the model? Yep, that is it. So there you go, order.OID. And I think that is pretty much it. Let's see how it works. And you could also go ahead and append the reference. So reference, Let's see how it's, okay, that's how it's spelled. So reference should be equal to, then this is where you can actually change this to backtick so that we can write JavaScript code in here by pretty much creating a $ and braces. So we can now say transaction dot reference. Okay, so now we are appending the reference in case you want to be able to verify the payment on the back end. All right, so now that we've done this, let's try making the payment again. I'll pay with Paystack and give this some time to open up. Success, pay. Now this is gonna check if the status is success, it redirects back to this page. So now it's prompting us to log in. Now it's totally up to you. You can actually go ahead and remove this page from, let me show you. You can remove this from login required, because we don't really make use of any user information over here. So just get rid of it, okay? So right now, let's mock the payment again. Okay, my server is still reloading. There you go. And pay with credit card or debit card for Paystack. I will pretty much, let's wait for this. Okay, then I'll hit success and pay. So I believe that most Nigerians or Africans will be the one that will be using the Paystack payment. And you'll be asking, how do I actually convert this? So you can see that the amount here is 162 USD. But when you want to pay with Paystack, you can see that over here it's showing 1 naira 62 kobo, right? So what you actually want to do there is check what the current rate of USD is in Nigeria. As of the time of recording this video, I think it should be 1,419. Let me check Google's rates. You can see 1,419, yeah. So what you want to do over here is, I will even highly recommend that you calculate this in the back end before passing it over to the front end, so that the calculation will be more seamless. So how can we do this? Now, remember that I was on the verge of checking how the payment success works, but after we do this, I will now check how the payment success works so that this doesn't, skip my mind. Now let's come over to the view checkout. So now to be able to calculate this, over here, let's get the current Naira rate, and you can manually fix this if you want. You could also fetch it from your database. It's totally up to you how you want to do this, but I will just use this rate here. And remember, I said it's totally up to you how you want to be able to do this, but for now I'm just statically putting it in here. You know that the rates can actually change, so I would recommend that you fetch the rates from an API like CoinMarket or CoinGecko. Yeah, you should be able to fetch current rates from there. So this is the current Naira rate, and this is the order total is coming from order.price, right? So how do we calculate this? Now what we simply need to do is, let me open up my calculator and let's check for something. Paystack needs this amount to be sent in Kobo. So over here, if we check the current total, let me get back here. You can see we have 162.89 over here. So 162.89 USD times 1419, I believe, which is the current rate, 0.53, 1419.53. You can see it's 231,227 kobo plus all this over here. We will round this up, okay? So this is the current rate. This is the current amount. Now you need to times whatever this is by 1,000 and send it over to Paystack. So how do we do that? So what we need to do is, total should now be order.price. So order.price multiplied by current Naira rate. So this current Naira rate, I will actually want to, it shouldn't be in a string, okay? That's a problem. It shouldn't be in a string, and we shouldn't even have the comma over there. And we also want to convert this to a float. Or instead, let me check what the order price is saved in. So you can see the order price is saved in the decimal field, right? Which means whatever you will multiply it by should also be in decimal. So in that case, let's convert this to decimal like this and put in 141.9.53. Okay, so it's saying that it couldn't find decimal, so add from decimal, import decimal at the top. Now this is going to work. So we multiply this by this, and now the order underscore total for Paystack should be equal to total times 1000. Total times 1000. All right. So now we could take this order total, and if you want, you could start off by printing this. Let's see what we have, or if we are getting an error. So I believe this will be only for Africans. If you're working with USD, then I would recommend you work with Stripe, PayPal, or even Flutterwave USD. You don't need to do all this calculation, okay? If you're working with USD, this should really be for Naira. Now, order total, which is this one here, needs to be added to the context. So please go ahead, add this to your context, dictionary context. Now take order total back to checkout HTML, and instead of amount, put it in here, because the calculation has already been made in the back end, right? So now that we have all this, we could get back here, give this page a reload, and now we could pay with Paystack. As soon as the page is done reloading, pay with Paystack. Now can you see it's showing 2312. This is about 2.3 million naira, which means our calculation is incorrect. So let's fix our calculation again. Okay, so the only mistake I made over here was that we actually need to multiply this by 100 and not 1000 for Paystack to be able to know how exactly the payments should be formatted. So it was a mistake. It wasn't 1000, it was 100. Change that to 100, reload your page, and now pay with Paystack or Paystack credit or debit card. When you hit that, you can now see over here we have 231,227, which is what we had here. Okay, so depending on whatever the Naira rate is, you could go ahead and change your rate in your project code, and you should be able to fetch the new rate. So now you go ahead and pay for this 231, and then you go payment success, and it redirects us back to this payment page with this reference. So that is pretty much it. As you can see, the payment is working. There you go. There are a lot of things to working with payments and all that. If there is any specific feature that you want, you could drop it in the question and answer section below or in the comment section, and I'll be more than happy to help you out. So that's it. If you're looking to build professional websites faster and easier using professional and modern components, then I'll highly recommend that you check out nestblog.app. I'll drop the link in the description below. It will provide you with tons of free to use professional and modern components, depending on or regardless of whatever CSS framework they are using: Tailwind, Bootstrap, Boomer, Materialize, and a lot of components are still being created and will be uploaded to the site. So do make sure to check out the site. It's called nestblog.app. Link will be in the description below. Also check out some of the courses in the description below, as one of them might help you become even a better Python Django developer. I hope to see you in the next video, and until then, mad love, peace out.